Right, so Nottingham Forest lose 3-0 at the Etihad today against Man City. They end their very poor run of form against us. That just would be the case, wouldn't it? We've seen that so many times. The team's in poor form, they play us, they suddenly play like their best game all of a sudden. And it happened again today. I'm not surprised, it just tends to be the way. I don't want to be too negative in this video because ultimately we've had a fantastic first half of the season and we should be very proud of that and optimistic about that. The Ipswich game gave us a real boost, we needed it, but back to performing very poor away from home. 2 games in a row, we look like our old self again away from home. Okay, it's against City and Arsenal, but I think you've got to forget that for a moment. The manner in which we've lost these 2 games is the real concerning thing. I think against Arsenal it was worse because we were completely outplayed and there was just nothing at all going for us, no real chances. What really frustrates me about this one is the fact that we had so many chances. So many chances. It could have been so different, and most crucially, that chance from Chris Wood. If he scores that one-on-one, 9 times out of 10, okay, you back Chris Wood to score that. I'm not ripping into him here. I haven't got a short memory, unlike some people probably slagging him off for missing that. Yeah, he should have scored it. But if he scores that chance, we go 1-1 all of a sudden. Chances are City don't go down the other end and score a very easy goal, which is what they did. It's happened so many times to us in the Premier League, and it happened again. Even in this fantastic season that we've had so far, we're still being undone far too easily. Yeah, it's against like a very, very good team, but I don't think you can really excuse that. The way that we concede these goals, I just don't think you can excuse it against any team. It's basic stuff. It's just so predictable what's going to happen. That's what I find really frustrating. Just going back to the start, there was 3 changes to the team: Dominguez, Moreno, and Alanga coming in for Hudson-Odoi, Nico Williams, and of course Elliot Anderson. I was feeling that was a bit of a surprise to have Anderson out the team, maybe going a little bit more defensive with Dominguez. Alanga coming in, I was actually a fan of that. Alanga I thought was quite wasteful today, which I think he has been all season. I'd like Alanga, but I don't think he's been anywhere near what he was last season so far this season, to be honest. Some people were calling for a back 5. We went to that in the second half. Didn't really make a difference. Morato coming on, but didn't make the impact that we would have hoped. We just were far too wasteful. That's the moral of this game, really. Very, very wasteful, not taking your chances, and then you get punished before you know it. The chance with Wood, conceding to De Bruyne, no one closing him down at all, far too easy. Happened again in the second half. We had a good spell of possession, not really doing much with it. I get, okay, let's try and keep the ball as long as we can, but you've got to do something with it. Put a ball into the box at least. Don't give it away after about 10 passes of just doing nothing. Then to have your back line completely disjointed and then no one really closing down Doku. There's Milenkovic, who I have to say wasn't very good today. I don't think the whole team were particularly good. But Milenkovic, 2 of these goals, I think you can say he was at fault for. The first one, I know I'm all over the place for the way I'm describing this, but it's all the same point ultimately. Milenkovic, the first one, he didn't track the run of Gundogan until it was too late. He was the one that put the ball into the box ultimately, which is where the ball would end up being scored from. Then this Doku one, he didn't actually go and stop Doku. He was just letting him run towards him and then cut in like Callum Hudson-Odoi normally does. So it's so frustrating when you're seeing these pretty basic errors, and against a team like City, you're going to be constantly aware of all these threats around you, but it just felt again like no one really knew what they were doing, you know? We were going in and closing down and pressing play when it was too late, if at all, and that's the problem. And what really frustrates me is the fact that, and Liverpool were losing tonight, I don't even know if they have lost or not to Newcastle, but going into this, we were the only team to beat Liverpool all season. They're walking the league right now. We've beaten Liverpool at Anfield. We've drawn with Chelsea, who have been really good all season. We can go to these sides. Brighton are 4th currently, or they were. We drew there in a difficult situation. We know we can go to very, very good teams away from home and get results. So there's no excuse to go to the Etihad and to go to Arsenal and just get rolled over. I think in a season, a team like us, you can get the odd shot result. But we've had a number of good games away from home this season against good teams. You're going to also probably, even in that sort of season, have a game where you get rolled over. And you can just say, okay, it was a quality side. But 2 games in a row it's happened against 2 sides that weren't actually in good form going into it. And yeah, it's form. Class is permanent ultimately with Arsenal and City. But it's just the manner in which we lost the games. When you know that they can do so much better, that's the concerning thing. With Man United coming up this weekend, who are rejuvenated under their new boss, of course, it's quite daunting now that we've got to go to Old Trafford and try and, not do what we did today off the back of doing it against Arsenal as well. I am very concerned about that game, if I'm honest. I just want us to at least do something against United because we couldn't do it here. But I have my doubts, if I'm honest, and I'm not just trying to be negative. I was one of the few people actually feeling that we could get back into the game at half time if we just, didn't respect them so much that we just let them walk all over us, because we were having chances. That's the thing. It's just defensively we were all at sea again. So I actually felt like we could get something from it if we just fix that up, tightened it up. We're more, clinical ultimately in front of goal. But that didn't happen. And now, even I'm struggling to find a reason why we can go to Old Trafford and get anything. But, if we lose there, it's 4 defeats and 5. Okay, to 3 fantastic sides, Newcastle included, 4 fantastic sides, but just the manner in which it's happened, and to suddenly concede a lot of goals when we've been so strong defensively before that Newcastle game, it's just a real sucker punch, I think, and something that I don't think we can really let define us this season. I think ultimately we've been incredible this season. You can't deny that, but these games recently have been concerning, the manner in which we've been losing. I've said that enough times now in this game, but it's just the truth. Please, everyone, get your comments in the comments about what you think of this game. I think it's a case of maybe what could have been. Put a few of those chances away. It's a very different game. You could get to City. I don't think City are suddenly back. They're not. City were great today, but we made it far too easy for them. Who knows, if we got a goal, their heads could have gone again. I don't know. Probably not, knowing us, but yeah. It is what it is, I suppose. Far too easy, really, for City. But they're a great side. They were always going to win, but you had a feeling it was going to be against us, didn't you, really? Please like and subscribe to the channel if you, I suppose, enjoyed this review. I'll be reviewing the United game as well at the weekend. Let's just hope it's just a bit better than this one. Thanks for watching, everyone, and up the Rads.